Oh, hi! This is your mad mother of the internet, my lovable misfits, and I bet you're wondering what this is. This is, well, me feeding my curiosity when it comes to intriguing topics, people versus people, the internet versus people, and gossip in general. Except this isn't a tea series, this is a coffee series, which is why it's called What's the Brobo. In the first ever premiere episode, we're going to cover Teh Mimi versus Blaire White and James Charles versus that stupid TikTok mugshot trend. So, let's get into it. Corner, we have Teh Mimi, respectable amount of subs, and we also have Blaire White, who is creeping up on 1 million subs as we speak. Both of them covered a particular topic that is very hot right now and is running around the internet. That topic is Dahvie Vanity, the lead singer of Blood on the Dance Floor, who is trying to make a comeback after having some controversy quite a few years ago. What is this controversy? Well, apparently, Danny has a taste for the illegal. His proclivities tend to lean toward females of the minor persuasion and engage in acts that would be illegal. Yeah, that. And I am trying to, use my wide vocabulary as a writer to avoid certain terms that would get me in trouble. I hope I'm doing a decent job. Anyway, Teh Mimi has covered Dahvie. Blaire White kind of covered Dahvie. Kind of. Other people that have covered Dahvie has been Creepshow Art, Mind of a Miracle, who, if you have not taken a look at her channel, take a really good peek. She presents things very objectively, and then she's like me. She gives her 2 cents at the end. She's another internet mom. She's the internet mom of the tea world. Apparently, I'm the internet mom everywhere else. Teh Mimi called out Blaire White because Blaire White, in her Dahvie video, took a clip of Dahvie's live stream. Now, she's not claiming that the live stream is hers. Teh Mimi literally stated in the tweets that we're going to see to begin with that she was not looking for credit. She just wants the entire story out there. What does she mean by the entire story? Well, certain screen caps from 2010 and Jeffree Star have been circulating where Jeffree called Dahvie out because he was on tour with Dahvie, calling young girls to his hotel room to do these illegal acts with minors to fuel his distasteful proclivities. What Blaire White refused to do was dig a little deeper and find the fact that it wasn't too much later that Jeffree forgave him and they became best buds again. So that saga continues. So the first accusation was the fact that, you took this from my video, but 20 seconds in, well, 20 seconds in, she provides all sorts of screen caps, Teh Mimi that is, that were post 2010. But we'll get to that in a minute. First, we're going to get to the exchange. And the exchange is thus. First, you see the video. And in the first 5 seconds of the video, Teh Mimi says this.
I don't care. I don't give a shit if I get credit for it. I just want the message out there. That's what's important to me.
To which Blaire responds, this is pretty stupid. Yes, I used your video to obtain a live stream from Dahvie that I couldn't find elsewhere. I was trying to call out a person who has proclivities of the illegal nature towards minors. You seriously want credit? Let me play that 5-second clip again.
I don't care. I don't give a shit if I get credit for it. I just want the message out there. That's what's important to me.
Doesn't sound like you want a credit. Way to prove it's more about clout for you than holding someone responsible. It's not about clout. It's about getting the entire story out there, no matter who is involved in the story and who is involved with the person that is doing said illegal acts to feed their distasteful proclivities. Yes, I was confused about the timeline of Jeffree's tweets. They're dated. Just saying. Which is why I asked Jay to his face on the live stream to get the facts. Now, I've seen the live stream. She did, in fact, ask him. And then she continues to say, the fact that you're mad about this is irrational. You're a liar. Teh Mimi, sweetie, Teh Mimi. Anything having to do with an adult feeding said illegal proclivities and involving themselves in a sexual nature with manners tends to get ires up and emotions running. It is very hard to keep a calm head when you are talking about certain acts that involve minors. I get it. But so far, in this tweet thread, Blaire hasn't lied. We're getting to that. How? You're just going to say that without saying how? And somebody linked her the video. Watch the whole video, she said. She's very much a liar. She lies and contradicts herself all the time. And then it's really just sad at this point that you'd rather dig deeper and block a fan you've had for years just for pointing out your mistake and that you should own up to it. Okay, now, we're going to go back. Dishonest and manipulative, oh Blaire. So, no actual response to what I said. This was dishonest about it. Your video had a live stream that I also showed in my video. Do you know how many dozens of creators use evidence that I found first against people like Greg, Davi, etc.? I don't get mad. I want everything out. The problem is, Miss Blaire, you left the part out where Jeffrey forgave Davi. Now, you keep claiming ignorance. And I'm going to link this whole thread in the description as well as everything else that I use in this video. And the reason I'm saying is this. A lot of us, whether we commentate for, gossip purposes or call people out or report the news, we do tend to skim videos. There's a problem with your skimming defense, Blaire, because you do admit that you skimmed the video to find the live stream. So before you downloaded the video, you skimmed it. There's a problem with that. I'm providing evidence right now on the screen, right here, as to what happens when you skim through a video on YouTube. You see the little thumbnails running along the timeline? You see 20 seconds in? You see the screen caps again before you ever get to the live stream? Blaire, how'd you miss that? How'd you miss that? Even if you were to click randomly all over the video, you would bump into screen caps. You would bump into screen caps. Now, if somebody sent you Teh Mimi's video and time-stamped it, that would be a reason as to why you didn't see those particular screen caps and dig a little deeper. Dig a little deeper. The problem about that is it makes you lazy. Now, she's calling you a journalist. Teh Mimi, you're wrong in that particular aspect. Blaire White has never claimed to be a journalist, an investigative journalist, or anything of an investigative nature. She is simply a YouTube commentator on the conservative side of the political spectrum. That is her exact description. So, she's going to make mistakes. She's going to be a little lazy like she was here. And she's also going to skip over certain things. Now, to her credit, she did go on Chris Hansen's live stream. She did ask Jay. She did get the information that shocked the crap out of her, which she admitted later because she didn't think that Jeffrey could be friends with somebody with those types of proclivities after calling him out for said proclivities. Which again, Blaire is kind of overlooking the entire sordid past that Jeffree Star has had. I don't particularly like Jeffree Star as a person. I don't mind calling him out. He has done a lot of shit and he continues to fuck up. Period. And all of this stuff is anywhere between 3 to 4 years old to 9, 10, 11 years old. So, his past actions aren't on the up and up. They really aren't. And he really needs to be held accountable. Now, Something else Teh Mimi put on a video that I can't find on her channel anymore, so I don't know if she put it on private or put it down, was she flat out accused Blaire White of not calling out Jeffree Star to task on her video because she received PR from Jeffree Star. And her proof of this is this video on Blaire's channel, Blaire Black. Now, I actually took time to watch some of the video, and she admits that Shane sent her the makeup. Shane, not Jeffree. So technically, the PR didn't come from Jeffree. Technically, there is no PR because she doesn't state clearly and succinctly that the makeup that she got from Shane was a gift or PR. She said Shane gave it to her. Now, it could mean that it was gifted. It could mean that it was PR from Shane himself. But it didn't come from Jeffree. So, you're a little bit lazy there. Just a little bit lazy there. Okay? At least watch the video. Don't be the pot calling the kettle black. Do your due diligence. Now, in another series of tweets, she self-reflects. Teh Mimi. Teh Mimi self-reflects. So we're going to go through these. I'm going to put these here. Also, 2 criticisms of my own I will address. Should have been handled privately. People reached out to Blaire before I decided to talk about it. Her and I discussed in DMs after. Didn't go well, and my opinions didn't change. I stand by speaking out because I think it's important. Just because everybody else jumped off the bridge didn't mean you had to too. When you're trying to call someone to task about missing vital pieces of information, it is always best to handle it private and in DMs. Give them a chance to respond to you privately. I would say 24, 48 hours. Blaire is a very popular person, not only on YouTube and on Twitter. Give her time to find your DMs and respond to it. If after 48 hours she hasn't responded to your DM, then cap that and say, I attempted to contact her in DMs about this matter and I never heard back from her. She's a busy person. She's got a lot of crap to follow. She probably wakes up to tons more notifications than I can ever imagine on any of my Twitter accounts. But that's beside the point. Then she goes on, to hold people accountable when they're in a position of journalistic research. She never said she was a journalist. She is a YouTube conservative commentator. She never said she was good at research. I'll give her props for her Yaniv videos. But that stuff's easy to find. Saw it was Twitter before Yaniv got her account suspended. Okay? Criticism 2. I'll take this one. It's fair to say this isn't as important as the Davi issue or even calling out Jeffree for looking the other way. While I didn't think that means I should be able to speak on it, I don't plan on dragging this out any further. Okay, that's an adult thing to do because this little tit for tat and back and forth isn't as important as the main issue at hand. I'll give you that one. It's not. I want to move on, unless there's a reason for me to bring all this up again. I've said what I needed to in my video that I can't find. Call me a clout chaser all you want for standing up to this, although I don't understand how considering this has been nothing but a risk for me to talk about from the beginning, and I'll explain to that. So yeah, I'm going to go back to making videos as usual, continuing on discussing Davi and whistleblowing other awful things. You don't have to ask me to use clips, you don't have to credit me, just display some integrity. Simple request. Okay? Now, my 2 cents. For those of you that aren't aware, on my main news channel, I covered Daddy of 5 and I also covered Heart Progress. For those of you that don't know what Heart Progress is, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and they're still lurking here and there, you can find them on Yahoo search, there was an organization called Heart Progress that tried to put the P in LGBTP instead of pansexual proclivities of the illegal type, considering, concerning and including minors in certain acts that most people would find deplorable with said minors. And I say most because there are people out there that like doing illegal things with minors, whether prepubescent or teenagers. That's wrong. Okay? Now, when you're presenting any type of information, and trying to come up with any kind of proof that somebody has illegal tendencies, whether it be of a benign nature like robbing, even though that's not a victimless crime, I'm not saying it is, or feeding their proclivity for their tastes in prepubescent minors, or feeding their need for a teenager every once in a while. You have to make sure you have all the facts, and that includes information on anybody involved with the person. You have to be objective. You have to not be afraid to call out anyone, no matter how many followers they have, no matter how many fans they have, no matter how many stands they have. That's what Teh Mimi's trying to do. And when she says that she's put herself out there, it's because now that she's called out Blaire, she's got two stan groups coming after her. Jeffree Star stans, who no matter what Jeffree does, apparently he's some sort of saint. And thou must not speak against the star of Jeffree. Otherwise, people will descend upon your comment section. And if you're descending upon my comment section, I have something for you. Because I'm 46 years old, and I could give a shit less. Okay? When you're covering these topics, you have to make sure you cover the whole topic. Like I said, include everybody involved with the person, good, bad, or indifferent. Because that's the only way to make the story objective and complete. This tit for tat was unnecessary on the public venue, in my opinion. Also, in my opinion, the fact that she accused Blaire White of receiving PR from Jeffree was badly researched on her part, when all you had to do was watch the Blaire Black video, and Blaire says that she got it from Shane. As a matter of fact, let me play that clip.
I'm a bit nervous. So all this stuff is definitely sold out everywhere. I was lucky enough to get sent it by Shane. And it's funny because I know that I am not fly enough to be on a Jeffree Star PR list. Never have been, never will be.
What isn't clear is whether or not that was PR or just a gift, like Shane used a palette and then, or had an extra palette and gave it to her, or if it was actual PR. Now, having fought against adults that have proclivities of a minor nature, whether prepubescent or teenager, I find Davi a deplorable person. And anybody that excuses or apologizes for his behavior or wishes to be friends with somebody with those types of proclivities is just about as bad as they are in my book. People with proclivities and certain distasteful taste for minors of a prepubescent and teenage nature need to be locked away. And that's my 2 cents on that matter. Let's go on to the next story. James. I will admit I have a TikTok. I will admit that I blame me having a TikTok on Ronan. And I will also admit that I am following a lot of cosplayers on TikTok that have some really cool sense of humor, and wow, the makeup. Wow. And yes, there are trends that circulate on TikTok. There was a particular trend, #mugshot challenge, that a lot of people were taking part in, as you can see by the screen cap that I took on my phone, because apparently TikTok, which is out of China, hasn't figured out how to allow people to access it on their desktop. But I digress. As you can see, this is what they consider mugshots, when mugshots actually look like this. But I digress once more. Everybody was taking part of this, so James Charles decided to take part in this. And then he decided to do something that he often tends to do, and he sticks his foot in his mouth, and he put these particular pictures of himself on Twitter without any preamble, without a caption, and without an explanation. So, with all of these other people doing this shit on TikTok, Him and this other girl decided to do it on Twitter. Both of them got called out for it, but James Charles more than this particular person down here. Everybody was accusing him of glamorizing domestic violence and glamorizing, violence against women and blah, 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 and on because of this stupid TikTok trend. And then, and yes, I'm going to call you out, Spill. You can watch this video or not. Spill covered it, and then when she went, what's the issue? In that little segment she does, well, I'm going to tell you, what's the brobo? You were off base. Now, I don't particularly care for James Charles, but James Charles is what, 20 now? He's a kid. He's still a kid. Kids are going to make mistakes. Okay? And he's been in his fair share of controversy, tit-a-tats, and verses. All you gotta do is type his name in the search bar in YouTube, and you will find video upon video upon video. There was him versus Tati and Jeffrey, and him being accused of all this other bullshit, and this, that, and the other. But this was completely inane. And they called him out. Him. Not anybody else. Him. Now, this is where Spill was off base. If you're going to call out one person, which is what the internet did, you have to call out everybody that's involved in the challenge. Not just James Charles because you don't like him. As I stated, I don't have anything against the kid. I really don't particularly like, his content. Certain octaves and inflections and the way certain people speak sound like nails on chalkboard to me. So I can't watch his videos. Okay? But he's a kid. You called him out and you pulled him to task. You brought him to task, even though Tana Mojo did it and a bunch of other people did it, and I'm putting their screens up here, and again, I'm scrolling the screen cap. If you're not willing to call out the whole, don't call out the part. That's the problem. There are a lot of people out there that don't like James. They actually go all out to criticize him on a daily basis, whether he has done something wrong or not. They tried to drag this boy for getting a puppy. A puppy. It's fucking ridiculous. People need to grow up. There are more important things than him getting a puppy. Him getting a puppy was inane. Okay? Now, was the TikTok trend in good taste? I don't particularly think so. There were some people coming up with backstories about it, like they had been in bar brawls or car accidents, or they had beat somebody up or mugged somebody and blah, blah, blah. And some people took it a little too far and made an entire persona about it. Maybe those are the people you should have called out. Not James that jumped on the bandwagon. Mr. Charles, not that you're ever going to see this video, but from a 46-year-old person who's been around the block quite a few times, I have some advice for you, sir. Just because everybody's running off the cliff like lemmings, it doesn't mean you have to follow them too. Do your own thing, dear. And don't forget to ask yourself, if I do this, am I going to get in trouble? And if the answer is yes, don't do it. Simple. Absolutely simple. And therein wraps up episode 1 of What's the Brew, Boo? If you want to follow me, there's my Twitter, there's my Instagram, there's my blog where I write all sorts of stuff on there. And the blog is about as ADD as my channel. So if you want me to cover a particular topic, you can catch me at any of these up here. And don't forget, I do have a Redbubble store and all kinds of other ways to support me, which are in the description, along with source links for everything that I have presented in this video today, with the exception of the screen recording. Until next time, guys, stay calm, stay informed, keep your hands clean and away from your face. And see you next time, my little misfits.